Hey everybody, it's the 24th of September 2017. I just want to speak real quick about the whole issue with the protest kneeling for the flag, Kaepernick a little bit, and Trump's comments to suggest that owners should fire individual players. As far as the kneeling for the flag itself, I think there's a lot of well-intended individuals who are trying to get a voice out, and they're not doing it to be per se anti-American and Western culture or things of this nature. I think in their individual belief structures, they're either doing it out of support for Kaepernick or the belief of police brutality within the black community. I honestly, I fought for this country for 10 years. I don't agree with it at all, but I would never say that they couldn't do it. I think it would be a lot more productive if they wanted to protest on the field, as far as the players are concerned, if they still stood and raised a hand, like the track stars and the '68 Mexico City Olympics did. I think that would be a little bit more acceptable for the public. Kneeling is just imagery. It's a bad image. But none of this really is doing anything to solve problems. If your belief is, as a black person or a black athlete or just an athlete in general or a person in general, if you believe that there is systematic racism or oppression within law enforcement agencies and in dealing with black communities, it would be much better received if you actually got involved in trying to get law enforcement agencies and the community leaders together. Okay, do something positive, do something proactive. Again, the imagery is a lot better. Whenever you're literally just kneeling, and they say Kaepernick started to try to do that a little bit. Well, and he very well could have, but it was after the fact and after he was getting flack for because at first he was sitting on the bench, and then he decided he would take a kneel. He met with the former Green Beret, last name Hall, who played at Texas. It was a long snapper. He met with him and ended up compromising where he would kneel. But it was after he started receiving all the criticism, he started doing things within the community. And the American people, we're a very, very, very tolerant people. We're not just a quick reactionary group of individuals. And Kaepernick stated after last season, whenever he wanted a full-time gig, and his skill set has, it's reduced itself. He's regressed as a quarterback, and he didn't deserve starter money. And he turned down, I think, $14 million to be a backup quarterback. But during this, he made this statement, well, he was now willing to stand for the anthem. Well, if that's the case, then your principled argument is null and void. You don't have one. This was not about, Black Lives Matter. It was not about anything other than the fact you wanted money. If you go back to after the 2015 season, and that off season before the 16 season last year got underway, you can go through the individual San Francisco 49ers stories about transactions and roster moves. The front office of the 49ers was in the process of trying to figure out financially what they wanted to do with Colin Kaepernick, because he was not going to fit in their long-term plans. And once that kind of got out, and I'm sure with him being one of the players on the team, he understood a lot of this more before the general public did, for sure. And so, you know, you take everything in consideration, and Kaepernick's not a dummy by no means. I mean, he's you know, a pretty bright, intelligent guy, and he understood the writing on the wall. So, well, what do? You do something that's going to create, you know, some semblance of public support, and get your name in not just the sports media but the national media. I mean, I guarantee you, 95% of the country didn't know who he was, and or vaguely knew who he was, and which all this was sad, because I enjoyed watching him whenever he was a quarterback at Nevada playing for Chris Alt in the pistol offense. And but anyway, so anyhow, long story short, the argument in which he said he had was not a principled argument. If you're going to, you know, stand up for the anthem now because you want a new contract and be a starter. So the whole thing is folly. And Trump making his comments, I'm not going to lie to you. I wish presidents, I don't care if you vote for them or you don't vote for them, I wish presidents would just not get into these kind of pointless debates. Obama did it a couple of times with identity politics, with after Cambridge situation with Professor Gates. He got involved in that, and Trayvon Martindale got involved in that. Michael Brown got involved in that by sending people from the White House to the funeral. These issues, and this here with the NFL, these issues are not issues for the president to, no matter who it is, to pick a side. It's just not. I understand, and I like Trump. I do. I support Trump, but he's not a traditional politician, which is fine and everything, and I take that into consideration. But it's not. You can make a statement, but to suggest that players be fired and everything and cut and so on and so forth, it's just not a good look. And it's no more of a good look as players kneeling on the ground during the anthem. And because again, we're not doing anything positive and proactive about things. Nobody's coming together. It's just you pick a side, I pick a side, and we'll stare at each other. And that's never a good recipe for anything. But anyhow, it's just my thoughts. Again, I fought for the right for people to protest. I would never ever say they can't do it, regardless if I agree with how they do it or not. I believe in classical liberalism. I don't care if I agree with you. I'm going to fight for your right to say what you want to say. But I'm still going to take my money elsewhere. I'm not going to watch any NFL games. I am boycotting the NFL. So, you know, ultimately you get what you pay for, or you don't get what you don't pay for. So, you know, and I really think the NFL is going to end up being the big loser out of all this. I think Trump's support's going to grow, especially within his base support group, regardless if they agree with it completely or not. And Kaepernick and the players are going to become more and more isolated to their own individual constituency groups. And the actual real root of the problems is never going to really get addressed. If you go back through the racial tensions in America didn't start or stop with, you know, Obama or Trump or any other U.S. president in modern history, with the exception of probably say LBJ and his Great Society plans. That's really, I think, where the whole origin with all this stuff is taking place. But anyhow, I'll cover that in another topic video. So until then, this is Caleb signing off the net.